Last week, three AI models were released to the public that have left experts and industry leaders in a state of panic. Among them is LLaMA, developed by Meta, which has sparked concerns about job displacement on an unprecedented scale. According to a recent report by McKinsey, up to 800 million jobs could be lost worldwide due to automation by 2030. But what's alarming is that these AI models are not just limited to performing mundane tasks, they are being designed to replace high-skilled professionals as well. For instance, Google's new model, Palm 2, has demonstrated capabilities in writing and generating code at a rate that's faster and more accurate than its human counterparts. The implications of this are staggering. With the increasing reliance on AI-powered tools, it's not just blue-collar jobs that are under threat, but also white-collar professionals such as software developers, lawyers, and even doctors. According to a study published in the Journal of Medical Systems, AI-assisted diagnosis has already led to improved patient outcomes while reducing medical errors. However, what's often overlooked is the impact these models have on mental health. A survey conducted by the American Psychological Association found that 62% of workers reported increased stress levels due to job insecurity caused by automation. This is a ticking time bomb for employers and policymakers who need to address this issue before it's too late. Now, let's dive into each of these AI models in detail and examine their capabilities, limitations, and potential consequences on the workforce. Released by Meta last week, LLaMA is a large language model that is capable of generating human-like responses to complex queries. However, what sets it apart from its predecessors is its unparalleled ability to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. According to Meta's own estimates, LLaMA can process and respond to up to 20 different questions in under 10 seconds. This capability has sparked concerns about job displacement on an unprecedented scale. McKinsey estimates that up to 30% of the global workforce could be replaced by automation within the next decade. But what's alarming is that these jobs won't just be limited to manual labor or customer service. High-skilled professionals such as lawyers, doctors, and software developers are also at risk. One notable example is the rise of AI-powered law firms that use models like LLaMA to analyze contracts, draft documents, and even litigate cases. According to a report by Forbes, one such firm has already seen a 25% reduction in staff since adopting this technology. While the numbers may seem staggering, it's essential to remember that these models are still far from perfect. For instance, LLaMA has been known to generate responses that are not only grammatically incorrect but also factually inaccurate. According to a recent study published in the Journal of Language and Linguistics, 40% of all AI-generated content contains errors that can be potentially damaging to businesses and individuals alike. Google's new model, Palm 2, has sparked significant interest due to its unprecedented ability to generate code at a rate that's faster and more accurate than its human counterparts. According to Google's own estimates, Palm 2 can produce up to 100 lines of code in under an hour, making it a valuable asset for software developers. However, what's alarming is the impact this has on the coding community. A recent survey conducted by Stack Overflow found that 75% of respondents believed that AI-generated code was more efficient than human-written code. But what's often overlooked is the long-term consequences of relying on these models. For instance, a study published in the Journal of Software Engineering found that AI-generated code can lead to reduced maintainability and increased complexity over time. This raises significant concerns about the sustainability of this technology and its potential impact on the coding community. Moreover, Palm 2's reliance on large datasets has raised concerns about data security and bias. According to a recent report by the Data Science Council of America, A models like Palm 2 are only as good as the data they retrained on. Bio, 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 thousands, thousands, real, This raises significant questions about the ethics and accountability of these models. The healthcare industry has been one of the most impacted sectors by the rise of AI-powered tools. Models like LLaMA and Palm 2 have demonstrated capabilities in diagnosing diseases, analyzing medical data, and even assisting with surgeries. However, what's alarming is the impact this has on mental health professionals. A recent study published in the Journal of Medical Systems found that AI-assisted diagnosis has led to reduced stress levels among doctors while improving patient outcomes. But what's often overlooked is the long-term consequences of relying on these models. For instance, a report by the American Medical Association found that 62% of physicians believed that AI-generated diagnoses were more accurate than human diagnoses. However, this raises significant concerns about accountability and liability in medical cases. Moreover, the reliance on AI-powered tools has also raised concerns about job displacement among healthcare professionals. A recent survey conducted by the Healthcare Information and Management Systems Society found that 55% of respondents believed that AI would replace up to 50% of their jobs within the next decade. As the impact of these models becomes increasingly apparent, it's essential for policymakers to take a proactive stance. According to a recent report by the World Economic Forum, up to 75% of workers will require retraining or upskilling by 2025. However, what's often overlooked is the role that governments can play in mitigating this impact. For instance, a study published in the Journal of Labor Research found that government-led training programs have been successful in reducing job displacement among workers who transitioned to new roles. Moreover, policymakers can also address issues related to data security and bias. According to a recent report by the European Union's high-level expert group on artificial intelligence, AI models like LLaMA and Palm 2 require strict regulations to prevent misuse and ensure accountability. As we look to the future, it's essential to recognize that these AI models are not just tools, but also a reflection of our societal values. According to a recent report by McKinsey, up to 30% of the global workforce could be replaced by automation within the next decade. However, what's often overlooked is the opportunities that arise from this shift. For instance, a study published in the Journal of Future Studies found that AI-powered tools have led to increased productivity and efficiency among workers. Moreover, policymakers can also address issues related to job displacement by investing in education and retraining programs. According to a recent report by the World Economic Forum, up to 75% of workers will require retraining or upskilling by 2025. In conclusion, the release of LLaMA, Palm 2, and other AI models has left experts and industry leaders in a state of panic. While these models have demonstrated capabilities that are unparalleled in their predecessors, they also raise significant concerns about job displacement on an unprecedented scale. However, what's often overlooked is the opportunities that arise from this shift. Policymakers can address issues related to data security and bias by investing in education